The oldest hat I have is that of a Hunter student. I started commuting to 94th and Park on a little yellow Baker's Transportation bus when I was 6 years old. I somehow passed whatever Mensa for Tots IQ test they give you down there on the first floor. And I remember during the social portion of the test, I offered to share my crayons with Mia Unger, which I think really put me over the top. I was never the brightest student at Hunter College Elementary School, but I was good at making up songs, and I generally made the other kids laugh, which is the only currency that matters when you are surrounded by people who are much smarter than you. In 6th grade, I was 12 years old, and I was about 3 feet tall, but I got to play Conrad Birdie in the 6th grade play. My abuela made me a gold lemonade jacket, and girls who had never noticed me, and here I am thinking of Erlon Wilson, Kaya Stewart, Caitlin Rawl, all sorts of women who I am unafraid to name check, had to pretend to be in love with me in the play. Well, I said to myself, I should clearly do this for the rest of my life. But then I hit Hunter High School, and all these other kids showed up. The best and brightest from the surrounding 5 boroughs, here to snatch the small currency of coolness I'd worked 7 years to achieve. There was Gabe Cohen DeVries from the Village, with his impossible cheekbones and cross-colored jeans, and his ability to do 6 pull-ups in 7th grade gym, while the rest of us hung there praying for muscles to magically reveal themselves. Mr. Minstrel behind us, waiting, shaking his head. Come on, man, let go of the law. Cool. There was Jerry Nye, my science lab partner, who was so smart I assumed he had been cloned from the DNA of Nobel laureates like Arnold Schwarzenegger and twins. And there was my crippling C- at an average in math. I remember getting the snot pounded out of me by clock arithmetic, quadratic equations, and even when Mr. Weinstein assured us, come on you guys, this is a pizza party question. It seemed there would be no pizza party for me. Sorry. So I retreated to the back of the class. I wrote songs in the margins of my notes during Spanish class, the only place where I had an advantage over the other kids because we spoke Spanish at home. Mrs. Slavin's class, I'm sorry, was my creative writing class. I would emerge occasionally to say, vosotros bailáis, and go back to writing about the deep, tormented spiritual life of a 13-year-old, aka girls I liked who did not know I was alive. Here I am thinking of Claire Newman, Valerie Descharette, Megan Cooney. The list went on and changed by the week. When my father cursed me out in fluent Spanish for getting a B in Spanish, I didn't know what to say. I joined no clubs in 7th grade and did nothing other than think about girls and doodle in the margins. I think this turned around when I got my PLE, my personal literary essay, back from a man who would go on to change my life, Dr. Rembert Herbert. We can write about whatever we wanted, so I wrote about Stephen King's It, which is sort of the only grown-up book I read. I got the following comment back from Dr. Herbert, and I read it for you today because I saved it. Lin-Manuel, this is an excellent, well-crafted essay. It confirms what I suspected for some time, that you have been hibernating in the back of my class, emerging only occasionally as when you wrote the chosen musical for class earlier this year. It's a new semester, almost spring. Join us. When Dr. Herbert handed me back that essay, it was like a gear clicked into place. Here was someone unrelated to me, with no emotional investment whatsoever, telling me, hey, you're good at this. You're a writer. It was a name for what I'd been doing in the margins of my Bumby and Clutch books. On the piano in room 233 before Mr. Stratichuk came in with his tea. What's up? I was a writer. I can't overstate the importance of that essay and of Dr. Herbert. I auditioned for Brick Prison with Dr. Herbert's encouragement. I got in 8th grade, which is like a big deal. And I plugged into the energy source that would power the rest of my life. And from 9th grade on, I sunk my teeth into every aspect of this school. I made 2 films on my VHS camcorder, an hour long each, and conveniently wrote myself a kissing scene with Amanda Morales. Despite my subsequent fame and wealth, will never love me. Great Gatsby is a really good book. I wrote countless plays and musicals for Brick Prison. I acted in musical rep at HTE, going on to direct West Side Story my senior year. Like countless Hunter students before me, I was playfully beaten by Miss Sewell in the hallways for not cleaning up. I'm greeted as ugly by Coach Randolph. And when I laughed, he would say, "I'm all ended up in my anyway. You don't know you're ugly?" I was yelled at by both Senor Ling and Senor Diaz, who would say, "Oye, pero muchacho, what are you doing here? You speak Spanish at home." I formed a doo-wop group with some friends called Fat Joe and the Boys. We sang in the 96th Street subway station for change until a cop cheerfully arrived with $50 summonses for each of us. And once on a staff symposium Wednesday, and I will never forget this, the legendary substitute teacher, Mr. Wallace, pronounced, "Today, classes are only 20 minutes long in keeping with Lin-Manuel's attention span." Along the way, I learned to see the faculty at Hunter as part of a larger family. A large, dysfunctional family, to be sure. But nevertheless, I went to Nurse Elaine with problems I would never tell my parents about to this day. In a time when most of you may think of college counselors as glorified sports agents for your kids, Sonia Moscow actually counseled me. She helped me nurse heartbreaks and angst and helped me arrange college trips and actually got me into college. C average in math and all. I talked to Mr. Stratichuk and Mr. Rosenberg about music. They held their coffee and walked from classroom to classroom. And as much as Senor Ling gave me grief over taking Spanish when I spoke it fluently at home, he was a tireless advisor to the Hispanic Club and scraped piragos with us every year at Carnival. So I went to college. I won't spoil that for you graduates, but you're going to have a good time. In fact, I want to hear your stories when you get back. I emerged in 2002 with a degree in theater studies and an unproduced musical under my arm. So I called Dr. Herbert towards the end of my senior year. "Hey, Dr. Herbert, it's Miranda. Hey, man, what can I do for you? I'm graduating from college and I'm moving back to New York to be a writer. I don't have a clue, a job or a clue as to what I'm going to do to make money. Can I come substitute at Hunter?" "Yeah, sure. As a matter of fact, I'll do one better. Hang on." The next week, I drove in and interviewed with Dr. Miller, my 7th grade English teacher, and it was decided in the fall of 2002 I would put on the final hat I wear before you today. Mr. Miranda, part-time 7th grade English teacher to your kids. It's a little like the episode of The Cosby Show where Rudy declares she's quitting school to get a job, and her sister goes, "Rudy, you're only in 2nd grade. What are you going to do?" And Rudy replies, "Teach 1st grade." It's basically what I did. I came back to Hunter and did my best Herbert impression for a year. I taught 2 sections of 7th grade English, 7.2 and 7.5, where you at? We studied Of Mice and Men. We played Mad Libs and reviewed parts of speech. We made time capsules that preserved for comical effect just how fast a person's voice can change in a semester. All the while, 4 years out of school, I'm interacting with teachers who were in charge of my well-being just 4 years ago. Imagine putting on your father's clothes as a child, sneaking into a grown-up party with all his friends, and being taken seriously. That's what it felt like. Or to quote Mr. Diaz upon my return, "Oye, muchacho, ¿qué haces aquí?" "Teaching, I guess, I am getting old." And I understood for the first time what Dr. Herbert feels at the beginning of every school year when he learns the names of his new students. From that first day where we went around introducing yourselves, the best and brightest of the 5 boroughs, along with the lifers fresh from the first floor, to the last day where we watched your time capsules and laughed about how much you've learned, has been one of the great joys of my life. From Louis Simon Cholden Brown's impassioned reading of Puck in A Midsummer Night's Dream, to James Ding's impassioned talent show performance of Eminem's Cleaning Out My Closet. From quiet breakthroughs into Kill a Mockingbird to science fiction, I learned more from you in 1 year than I did in 4 years of college. If I didn't teach you, I remember chasing you away from my classroom. And here I am thinking of Baxter, Sampson. I will never, and then in classic Hunter fashion, I wrote this speech last night and finished it out here. So the rest is off the cuff, and here's what I had to tell you. So at the end of my year teaching you, I was faced with a decision. I was offered a chance to teach for another year, but I had just performed a workshop of the show for Kevin McCullum, who was one of the producers of Rent and Avenue Q, and now one of the producers on the Heights. And he was interested, and I decided I better do this. I better work with this guy, he knows what he's doing. I better start writing this show. And you guys went on to 8th grade, and I went on to the Heights. And here we all are graduating together. And Dumbledore-like, I kept up with your exploits from a distance. I checked in with Rembert, and I checked in with Coach Randolph, who still calls me Uncle. And found out who was dating who was doing well in what, and who was leaving school to be a trapeze artist, and all sorts of other wonderful things. And I made the foolish yet brilliant decision to give you my email address when I left school. So some of you have kept up with me, so I have gotten almost every major rap album of the last 5 years a week prior to its release, because you're incredibly skilled at downloading music illegally. And passing it on to your own teachers. But here's the part of the story where I give you advice, and I don't know what to tell you, because I feel like I am learning right alongside you, and I feel like a big circle is closing today. You guys are going out into the big bad world, and I'm overcome. I cannot wait to see what you grow up to be. I hope you find whatever that doodle is you're doing in the back of class when you should be studying. I hope you find a way to pursue that, and you find a way for it to make you happy. It has made me very happy. I hope you come back to Hunter. We will always be here. I still come back all the time. And I have one more thing for you, because I know everyone was like, is he going to rap at the thing? Is he going to sing or dance? I'm not going to rap at the thing. But at my high school graduation, we were supposed to sing the song that I wrote for the occasion. It was called Say Goodbye. And we didn't perform it because Dr. Miserandino said we were short on time. And he's not here today, but that was mean. So what I've done, I've reunited my doo-wop group from high school, Fat Joe and the Boys, and we're going to sing the song I never sang in high school. Please give it up for Fat Joe and the Boys. They haven't sung together in 10 years. I wrote this when I was your age. Please become.
Sorry.
Hey. You hear? I also don't have a pitch like so I also recorded his name in the third grade. Sorry in my pocket this whole speech. Alright, we need that.
Cool.
Why, Coach? Summer nights are never long enough. You get it right. Happiness is just a state of mind. But when I'm with you, it takes me too far. Leaving home, but I won't forget you. Never thought the memory I had since I was born. You would be there, I'd never be alone. And I I do not say. The summer moon is flying over us. Pretty soon, I'm getting the high bus. I gotta go. Where I'm headed, I don't know. And I have grown up before, no nights in this place. But I can imagine a day when I cannot see your face. How can I be this way? Why say I was say how can you possibly see everything you have always been? Well, I'm only just 18. Live a life.